Good evening. I looked up and down and couldn't find my camera. Good evening, everybody. Gokhshtein Media bringing you late night news. It's me, David Gokhshtein, alongside my partner here, Ross MacDonald. Ross, what's going on today?
Not much. Good to be back on the news. Good to share this with everyone.
Did you see that just now? I'm looking for my camera all over the place. I didn't know where to look. All right, guys, we'll get into the news right now. But first, I want to say, this show is not sponsored by Ledger, even though it should be. But it's not. Even though it should be, but it's not. But with everything that's going on, guys,
Should it be?
you should be not getting this on eBay, open case and used, but sealed up, brand new. Get yourself a Ledger.
For what?
Not your keys, not your crypto. Yes, for your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, and any other assets that you do hold, you need to make sure that you have yourself a Ledger.
Put your blue chip NFTs on there.
Ross
So it's
MacDonald yelled at me. Okay? I have a Safe Pal and I have an Ellie Pal, and now I have a Ledger.
That's not your
Don't leave
first
home
ledger.
without it.
That's just the latest ledger.
Latest.
Yeah.
Again, Ledger not sponsoring us. I'm gonna give this some one-time plug because I care about you, the viewer. Ledger, cold wallet. It'll save your life.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they should slogan. It will save your life, and that's real talk.
It has a flotation device in it.
Or you don't. Maybe you don't want that option because then you want to say I lost my crypto in a jet skiing accident, kind of thing.
On to the news. Number one, Skybridge Capital is under hot water. They manage 5.5 billion for just 20 clients, and there is no withdrawals happening. They have locked things down. They might be going into receivership, Chapter 11. Who knows? The details are coming out, and I bet those 20 clients are ticked.
This is a recurring theme, so it's at one point will people I don't feel bad for nobody. That's it. If that's harsh, it is what it is. How many of these platforms have to go down until anybody realizes, oh, okay, I think I should take this seriously? At what point does it happen? After 20 times? I'm completely lost.
This is like when I was talking to a guy a while ago, and he's like, I bought my first Bitcoin. And this is like a year ago. And he's like, I couldn't buy it because the markets were closed. And I was like, hold on a second. What markets were closed? What the heck are you talking about? And he's like, he was this designer, has a show in California, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no. Explain this to me. He's like, well, my guy. And I'm like, well, who's your guy? And I'm like, what is this? And he's like, well, is he a broker? And he's like, yeah, kind of. And I'm like, hey, I don't know what you're doing, but you should stop it. I'm like, stop it. And Bitcoin doesn't close. The markets don't close. If you're buying that, you can just go online and buy it. You can fund it with an e-transfer. If you're doing a wire transfer during the day, sure. Okay, that's going to take some time, whatever. But these people are having other people manage their crypto because they don't want to do it, which I guess is fair. You're going to have a fund do it, and then what happens? They go out of business. You're going to lose a lot of your money.
Why? I just don't if you even understand the principle of crypto, if you understand the principle behind Bitcoin, why would you ever it just makes no sense. Fun, no fun. Stop using these CeFi platforms. They're exploding left and right. If right now, if you are on a CeFi platform and you still have money on one of these platforms, I don't know, I'd be doing Forrest Gump and running, literally run. Sad. From one angle, I do feel bad but after the 25th time of everybody in this space saying get out, maybe this is a good lesson. I don't know, Ross. Am I being too harsh?
No, I think people are learning. It's one way to learn. It's all right.
All right.
Part of the learning curve. Is this a part of global adoption? Yeah, it is now.
Ugh. Listen, at least one thing is for sure. Anybody coming out of this is going to be a hell of a lot stronger and might consider doing some research before they go ahead and enter into any of these centralized platforms that we have being created here.
What do we call this? We're in the bear market with all these companies collapsing. The great collapse of 2022.
Well, yeah. We had the ICO era, and then we had
collapse.
The CFI collapse. Yeah. But now, no better. That's it.
And another one in the news: Three Arrows Capital, 3AC. They're in rough shape. We've known that for a little while, but they had over 1,000 documents leaked today. I don't know who leaked them. I don't have the details on that. I'm going to read into this more. We'll probably have some articles coming out about it. They were owed $3.5 billion from 27 companies. So funny. And crypto hedge fund Digital Currency Group loaned them $2.3 billion. Hey, you're bad at managing money? Here's $2.3 billion.
Yeah, hold on. But the funniest part is these I was about to say a bad word, but I'd never say bad things in front of Ross MacDonald because I feel like he's gonna smack me. So like the only time that I ever say the only time I have a cuss is when I don't see him. Because I feel more comfortable. Like I feel like he's away. Though he's not. But they bought yachts for $50 million.
Yeah.
Like yachts.
I get it.
I want you to understand, you gave people money and they went and bought yachts and islands and like, oh my God. I want to say so much, but this would turn into an entire Netflix series.
Do you remember that part in the movie Limitless where Robert De Niro's like, oh, I set up an account for you. You're going to want some toys. That's real.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah, for sure. That's 100%. This is comical at this point. And they're nowhere to be found, by the way. Yeah. They're on those yachts.
They're gone. They're anchoring.
They're in Capri.
They're in international waters.
They are right by Italy. They're going straight to Capri.
This is
with
crazy.
With your money. Okay, you gave them the keys. You allowed for all of this.
Mm-hmm.
You know
that
what?
would make it worse. That would sting the nostrils a bit more. You're out your money that you invested in another fund or another centralized exchange, and you're like, man, there's a guy and he's on a yacht and he's having scotch and cheese and raspberries and all this good stuff in the ocean. I'm sitting here with my Mr. Noodles. Not happy.
Ramen noodles.
Not me. I don't invest in that stuff.
Oh my God.
All right, next point. U.S. Copyright and Trademark Commission is doing a study on NFTs and intellectual property rights. This is interesting because we were just talking about this before the news with what was the project we were talking about?
We said what we were saying. Yuga Labs and CryptoPunks.
So you didn't have your intellectual property rights with CryptoPunks. Then Yuga Labs buys it and they say, yes, you do. They flip the switch. Oh, you have it. Is there any legality to that? Is there something filed? Do people even check into it? They don't check. They're like, oh, cool. Let's start making merch, start sending it out. You don't know.
I mean, honestly, though, like that's up to Yuga Labs to get that done, right? If they purchase the CryptoPunks, which before the purchase happened, you did not own the IP to any of the punks. Now they purchase it. They say, well, you can have the IP, enjoy. That's on them to go ahead and get it right through, whatever it is, hiring IP lawyers and whatnot to go ahead and make sure that, everybody who does own a punk for like $1 million, has the right to go ahead and make passive income by creating hypothetically merge here, for instance, as you mentioned.
Same thing with Bored Apes. It's like, well, we have the the intellectual property rights to use something. Prove it. How do you prove it?
You know what? Maybe a good thing would be like for them to send some sort of airdrop with a file stating like you own like 5543. Like 5543 is yours. Like, and it's literally signed from Yuga Labs. But it goes like if you sell it, it goes to obviously the next owner.
It would have to be layered onto that somehow. If it's a separate NFT, well, now they're separate, right?
Yeah, that's true.
You have to layer it somehow.
But you know where I'm getting with this.
Yeah.
I had this conversation earlier with Richard Hart, who I did a podcast with today, and we got into the NFT. We got into NFT talk. It was a good one.
Coming out Friday?
Coming out Wednesday. Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune into Gokhshtein Unfiltered, where literally everything is unfiltered, especially this episode. There is nothing that is filtered. I can guarantee you that. Whether you like this man or not, you are going to listen.
I noticed that when we submit those things out and you're pushing it to the podcast, explicit.
I mean, all my shows should be explicit. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing
suitable
PG about it
for kindergarten to grade 6. No.
Yeah. No, please stay away. Not the audience that I'm seeking.
No.
Sorry.
And in some statistics, Bitcoin has been on a rally, 1.4% up in the last day. In the last week, 5-6 days almost, Bitcoin's gone from 19,500 US to 22,000. Broke through and is just sort of battling right now. We'll see if Bitcoin does go on a bit of a rally here. We were talking about where is there some resistance if it's to take off. It's a difficult conversation because technical analysis has been dead for a while.
The nice thing, I don't know if anybody's noticed this though, Ethereum has kind of like started the charge here.
Yeah.
Because like forget about Bitcoin and everybody else. Ethereum said, you know what? I'm not waiting for you guys. And I think it has a lot to do with the merger, going into 2.0. Like I think it has a lot to do with that. People are excited. And let's also not forget a lot of the dApps that are built on Ethereum, they're doing well. I mean, we were just, how excited we were. Other side, Meta. Like I was like a little boy running around like this new world, and the stuff that I've been hearing about who developed it and how they're developing the other side Meta, man. Again, all these things play into well for Ethereum, especially where ApeCoin will be the main currency and the only currency that you'll be able to use on the other side Meta.
Ethereum is up 11.4% in the last 24 hours.
It's
up 39% in the last week. That's ridiculous gains.
And I don't think it's stopping. It doesn't. I don't see. Yeah, will there be a little retrace? Yeah, but like I don't think it's stopping. I think it. You know what? Remember when in 2020 we talked about this?
Yeah.
When everything moved, Ethereum kind of moved for the first time and like slingshot Bitcoin. I don't know if anybody remembers this. It did happen. Go look at the chart. Yeah. Ethereum was the first to move, and I think it was because of Uniswap.
Right.
You remember during that kind of time?
Like Uniswap came out, and then what was it? 4 months or 6 months later, they did the drop for everyone.
For sure. That was the real stimulus check.
That was great.
Everybody got like 4,500, 5,000 from the on average, probably. If you didn't hold, right? If you didn't hodl, you got instantly.
I'm still holding that. Half of it. And if you're following Ethereum, we're going to be in Toronto for the Blockchain Futures Conference. August 8th to 10th is the Ethereum Hackathon, and Vitalik is there speaking. I don't know if he's actually speaking at the Hackathon or at Futurist or both. Futurist Conference in Toronto is August 9th and 10th. And The last time he was there in 2019, I was there and we were filming his presentation, and that's where he announced Ethereum name service. He always makes big announcements in Toronto because that's where he's from. He worked with Tracy, and that's where Ethereum was born. And for some reason, he likes making big announcements there.
I can see him announcing something about 2.0. Like, which literally shocks the industry.
It's the kind of thing you have to record it. Because he starts talking and you're like, hang on, I don't know what 10 of those words were.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a second. And then you play it back and you're like, I see where he's going with this.
Yeah, you might have that reaction. I can play that back like 15 times and still be confused.
It's
challenging.
He starts getting into coding and he needs like a PR representative to be like, no.
Or somebody doing sign language and like translating it in like layman's terms.
A voiceover.
Maybe. And you know who's the voiceover king for Gokhshtein Media? Ross MacDonald.
Not anymore.
Are you sure? You quit?
I quit. That was back in the day.
Fucking awesome. I quit. They pulled me back in.
So stay tuned. We will be reporting and covering everything that's happening 3 weeks from now in Toronto. Find out what happens.
I gotta say, Celsius. Okay, so I gotta say, are you heading towards this part, or we're done with the news?
Hit it.
Celsius went ahead, and one of the main reasons Celsius claims that they are currently in the shape that they're in is because social media has fudded the platform to its current position. That is one of the lamest excuses I've ever heard.
You know what that is par with? Didn't somebody want to like sue a spoon manufacturer? They were like, spoons made me fat. They're gonna sue them.
Or McDonald's.
That's right up there.
The kids that sued McDonald's because it made them fat. Like, really? I keep trying to locate my camera, by the way. Really? McDonald's making it fat?
Social media took down Celsius. I don't think so.
That is pathetic. That you know what? Just say, you know what? We just don't know how to manage, and we fucked up. And you know what? Maybe the community might rally and try to give you a second chance, but like, what is this nonsense?
There's no point in having excuses. Just work through the problem. Nobody cares.
I tweeted this out today. I said, if I fail, it's on me.
Exactly.
Nobody else. I'm not blaming anybody. You know what? Because ultimately, it's me.
Mm-hmm.
And that should be the approach for everybody. Like, if you fail, don't blame people. Like, don't point the finger. It's you. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. Even if it was. Ultimately, though, you failed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, either you're going to learn from it or you're not. Those are the only two choices you got. Me, I'm sure like you and others that are literally working in the space, you figure out a way to go ahead and learn from it and come back 20 times more aggressive, more competitive, more drive and motivation. Not motivation, throw that word out because that only lasts like a day or two, but more consistency, and you will see.
Mm-hmm. I think all these big companies, it's exactly the way that we all felt at the end of 2017. Everyone felt like a genius. Everyone thought, I'm going to make money forever. This is incredible. Then everything turned around, and unless there's a plan for that, you're hooked.
I think, but we don't understand. So, like, I'm gonna go to it and say, here's the thing: we weren't taught this, so we don't understand. There's things that you've said, where you've said, you know what? Why isn't anybody taking 10 to 15% off their gains? I mean, why don't you take a little bit here and there and put it away? You know, or maybe even take it and reinvest it into something else. Not financial advice, of course, but just saying, again, trying to locate the camera. I went up there, I'm down here. But take that, put it to the side. Look,
most people.
The smartest thing you've ever said to me, Ross, was, yeah, it's nice on paper, but you don't have it.
Yeah, it's true.
You could talk about having $10 million, but you don't have it. Until you pull out, you don't have nothing.
Unless it's in something that is somewhat stable, which is currently US dollar or stable coins.
Yeah. But you ultimately, when people say, "Oh, I got like 15 million, or I got 5, or I got," you don't.
Oh, we know people who've been millionaires on paper 2-3 times. They missed the boat, and the market retraces, and they're like, "Shoot, they didn't have an exit plan at all." And the exit plan is never 100% sell at one point. No, an exit plan happens in increments.
And that, I think most people aren't well versed in this. And the whole thing is, you get so excited in this space when things are green and things are going. When everybody's excited, and trust me, this is really good advice. Not financial, but really good advice though. When everybody's excited, that's a time to panic. But not panic in a bad way, but it's time to go ahead and say, "Yo, it's too much. There's too much shit going on over here. It might be good for me to pull out 20%."
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, not financial advice. I have to say that constantly, not financial, but this is something that you learn throughout your time in this space and in investing, right? Like, it really applies everywhere.
We should have a bit called "This is Financial Advice,"
which is really not financial advice.
No, straight up financial advice. We should do it.
Ross MacDonald is super happy to be back on a camera and a mic.
No,
this man has been working nonstop. I don't even know how to get him to stop. He's like that guy from Office Space. You put him in the basement, and he still thinks he's working. We got to go ahead and stop you.
I stop. I golf and I play hockey. I make time.
This show, by the way, I took off the label. I will not say whose water this is until they sponsor me.
I know that's Dasani. I know it. Armina's like, what?
Went into the wrong hole.
Thank you for tuning in, everybody.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate you. And on that note, and what does he say? On that note, Akil, as he would say, what does he say? I don't know what he... Honestly, I know what he says, but I don't know what he says.
If somebody hasn't told you that they love you today, I just did. Is that it?
No.
What is it?
Like, have a better today or...
Oh, yeah. That's the other one. Have a better today and a fantastic tomorrow.
All right, guys.